Hello, everybody. It's Diane at Shorter Girl Adventures with the story of my client, Homira. What happened at the Hilton All-inclusive in Puerto Vallarta, October 2023, what they could have done better, what they did to remedy the situation, and her return visit in August 2024. So let's get to it. But before that, my one client always sends me sunglasses every time when she books with me. So these are the new sunglasses she just sent me. And I want your opinion in the comments below. Should I keep them? Should I give them away? Will they be rocking with the perfect bathing suit option at the pool or the beach? Because I prefer tropical vacations. And I do apologize for the lighting and stuff. I did interview Homira in August of 2024 at the resort, but our microphones that we had set up actually did not connect. So I'm giving you improv right now of the story with some pictures of the resort and what the final result was. It's an interesting one, and it definitely lets you know why you should always have a travel agent. Because when something goes wrong, those big companies just tell you what you have to accept, and you have no remorse, or not remorse, recourse of it. But with a travel agent, you do, and especially one like me, because I can be a pit bull. So my client comes in on her airplane in October 2023 and lands right before a hurricane hit Puerto Vallarta. It's very rare for a hurricane to hit that area of Mexico, but this year it did. And so she checks into the Hilton, and the mudslide from the hurricane and on the rains coming just happened right behind the resort, taking out all the hot water and electricity. So they all had to go over to the convention center. The Hilton did good at improvising. What should we do? They went and got all the pool loungers around the pool areas, and they set up blankets and pillows. They got everybody tucked in for the night. They were able to give some cold snacks. They were not able to cook at that time, but they did get people some food, and everybody hung out, chit chatted for a while, and went to sleep. The convention center was very dark. And when my client awoke, she was there by herself, completely 100% by herself. And all the doors were shut. It was pitch black. She was scared out of her mind. She eventually got her way to a door and was able to open it and get out. And she was able to uh, find somebody to help her, a worker. And there's a language barrier, and but she was able to finally get her luggage, get over to the resort. They checked her in, they apologized profusely. I guess the power had come back on earlier that morning, and they thought they got everybody out of the convention center. But honestly, why didn't somebody just turn on the lights and make sure everybody was out of the convention center, is my question. So I'm just glad that nothing happened to her, and I'm glad she was able to get checked in. So then she gets checked in, and the first thing she wants is a hot shower. Well, there's no hot water still. Okay, so she deals with it, does a little, hand washing by the sink. There was running water. Next day again, still no hot water. Limited services, limited food is open and stuff from the hurricane. They just kept saying it's getting worked on, it's getting restored, don't worry about it. So that's 2 more nights. She doesn't really want to go anywhere because she can't take a hot bath. And so now we're on day 4. We're about to be there for the 4th night. And she keeps asking, she asks if she can be moved to another Hilton in Puerto Vallarta. They refuse. And at 5 o'clock, they called all the rooms. They informed everybody. Everybody had to leave by 6 p.m. Every single guest of that hotel had to be evacuated and had to leave by 6 p.m. They stated it was because they could not give the service that Hilton is known for. And so they said 5 p.m., everybody had to leave by 6 p.m. It's quite shocking that they only give everybody an hour. Not only did they give everybody only an hour, They did not provide shuttle service to the airport. They did not provide other accommodations uh, to move them to. I know when I personally used to work in the hotel industry, if something tragic or let's say a water main broke or whatever the case may be, we would be on with other hotels and we would be finding accommodations for our guest. We would be doing whatever it took to take care of the guest. These guests were left hanging. Worst part on top of my own client, which was their single, her first trip alone after being widowed. So it was already a scary trip for her. She had been traveling with her husband for several years, over 20 years, and she had never, ever traveled alone. So this was just extremely overwhelming. She didn't know what to do. Her and I had never personally met by that point. But 70 people checked into that hotel for a destination wedding that day. They too got evicted with 1 hour notice. How devastating for that bride. I hope today that marriage is solid and they did not let that mess with your mind. Because, us girls, we can let those kind of things mess with the mind behind the head. So let's just pray for that wedding couple that they're okay. And they did get married and it's all hunky dory now. But let's continue. So they gave everybody an hour, didn't offer any transportation anywhere, didn't offer any, just said, you have to leave. Okay. So my client immediately starts texting me, starts phoning me and going, what do I do? What do I do? Remember, I had never met her. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, let's get on this. She did have insurance, but in this kind of situation, sometimes your insurance company can be overwhelmed with thousands of phone calls because there's a hurricane, right? So when you have your own personal travel agent, we're better apt to deal with the situation and help out immensely just from our own personal experience. Me being a retired nurse, critical thinking skills come into place. We start going, okay, what do we need to do? So immediately I told her where to go to get her taxi. Got her a taxi. I get her to the other side of Puerto Vallarta and I get her a room for the night. And so we get her room for the night and I immediately book her a flight out early in the morning. She had no desire to stay. She just wanted to get home at this point. It was basically a ruined vacation. And a lot of it had to do with the weather. That's not Hilton's problem. They can't control the weather, but they can control how they handle the crises due to the weather. And then so once we got her hotel room over on the north end of uh, the the bay, Banderos Bay, she informed me that Hilton said upon her checkout, they had enough people to check everybody out, that she would be getting refunded for her last 2 nights that she was not staying there. And I'm sitting there going, "What? How are you not getting refunded for the first night, the second night, and the third night? How are you not getting refunded for all of it? You stayed in the convention center the first night, and the next 2 nights you had no hot water and you had limited services and couldn't do or really go anywhere. So how are you not getting refunded for all of it?" That just kind of blew me away. And nor were they going to help with her plane ticket home. They are the ones that told these people they had 1 hour to leave. They did have a responsibility to help these people find all their guests, their customers, find accommodations, transportation, whether they had to pay out of their own pay out of their own pocket or do a courtesy trade with another resort, which is very common in the hotel travel industry. Me previously working in the hotel industry instead of the travel agent side of it, we used to do courtesy trades all the time. Even airlines do it. Most of you have probably been on an airline where your airline's been late, delayed, canceled, and they hook you up with another airline, right? And then if your baggage gets lost, like recently in going to Hawaii, my baggage was on a Hawaiian airline. There was mechanical issues. They put me on Alaska. My baggage never transferred over from Hawaiian, but it was Alaska baggage that dealt with my baggage claim and my baggage. And finally, 2 days later, they delivered it to me, and it was Alaska who gave me my credit to go buy some clothing and stuff while I was waiting for my baggage to be things. So it is a very common occurrence that hotels and airlines will do courtesy trades to help out during an emergency. So I don't understand. Still to this day, I've not gotten an answer with several emails. Where was the backup generators for the initial, loss of power? And why did they not assist these customers to get transportation and other accommodations? Either way, so my clients tell me that they said they were only going to refund 2 nights and that was it. And I'm like, well, that's not acceptable. This is where you really want a travel agent, and you really want a travel agent that knows it's not acceptable and is assertive enough to go and fight your battle. We are your advisor. We are also your advocate. And when these kind of things happen, we will fight for you. Okay. We don't always succeed in the fight. The more experience we have with it, we probably will succeed more than others. Okay. So anyway, so we got her home. Everything's hunky dory. I'm just glad she's safe. She's home. But now my battle starts as the travel agent. Okay. So I immediately get on with the emails. I go, please send me the emails, any email you get from them. And I immediately respond. I identify myself as her travel advisor, and that I booked the trip, and this is unacceptable, and what I expect in return. It was responded with basically, nope, sorry, this is just how it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. So I personally went and found the main CEO of the entire company worldwide, found their email, and I proceeded to include them in the communications. And so we did get her a full refund from Hilton. And we did get some things also covered by her insurance policy. And because it was critically important, your customer reviews are better than any other review that a place can have. So I did remind them that, do they really want my customer first travel experience as a widow to have this lasting experience of Hilton all-inclusive properties? Well, anybody in their right mind wouldn't want that, right? So they did extend her a comped 6-day, 5-night return, and she got to just go back recently. I wasn't sure if she was going to go. I really wasn't sure if she would go. She was hesitant. I told her I was going back to Puerto Vallarta. I go at least 2 to 3 times a year. It's a quick flight for me. We love it. And we currently live in more desert, arid situation. And Puerto Vallarta reminds me a lot of Hawaii, with the humidity, the lush tropical surroundings. And I just love the culture and the history. And catch it. We even go over to Sayulita and we go surfing every time. Yeah, I know. I'm an old lady that still surfs a little bit, not as much as used to, but it's still fun. I just like small waves now. But anyway, so we did get her a compliment. So I informed her that I would be there. And if anything happened, I would be there personally to help her through the situation. But I begged her to please give them another try and enjoy the experience, because I was afraid she would be scared to never travel again. So she did book her trip I was there a little bit longer, but she did book her trip, and I was able to go over to the resort. They were really nice. They extended me a day pass for me and my grandson to enjoy, which is Adventures of Baja Boy Toby. He has his own little travel channel. He wants to be a YouTuber so bad. So I go, well, you can do them on our travel. That's your introduction to it. So it's small kind. I have to help him a lot with it, but it's something innocent, sweet, and fun. Anyway, so I did go over there and meet with her. We had something to eat and some coffee and had a tour of the place. And it is just cute. The resort is cute. It has cute two converted VW buses, which one a 67 VW bus was my first car. So of course I fell in love with that right away. And one's a taco truck, one's like a hamburger hot dog joint. They had several other restaurants to choose from, a beautiful spa. They have a great kids area that you can drop your kid off for the day. And now they have this huge family suite, the family suite where families can go in and play games together, board games and video games. And it's just, it's just nice because like if one of the parents wants to take a nap and sleep in and, mom or dad who works 80 hours a week and it's their first vacation, grandparents might be staying in another room. They can take the kiddos over to the family area and just play like they're in their own living room. I thought that was a great addition. That's a really great idea. I think that more resorts should take on having a family room, not a kids area and just adult area, actually a family area. That was really cool. The food and drinks we had were beautiful. The rooms were beautiful and lush. I'm just going to show you a couple pictures as I'm talking here. They should be playing behind me. And then from there, I would definitely go back. I am looking into taking a group there, a group of like 10 women having a wow women's only week and doing 8 days, 7 nights. I don't usually stay in the south part of Puerto Vallarta. I love it. But the main thing that is the best thing is that my customer, when she returned, loved it. She loved it. She relaxed. She was able to enjoy. She even stated, if you weren't here, I would have never come back here. I don't know if I would have traveled alone again. And it was comforting for her to do that. And I'm glad that Hilton did do the right thing by refunding her full amount and also did the right thing by giving her a comp to return and experience it the right way because it was a weird time and telling people they only have an hour to leave was unacceptable with no assistance in transportation or lodging. I think they've learned from the lesson. Everybody bigger and bigger than Hilton Mexico got involved. And I think, well, I don't think, I know they saw my point of view because they would not have done the remedy that they did by giving her the comp room and stuff. So on that note, don't bash Hilton. All in all, they've always been a great resort brand. And Hilton Puerto Vallarta All-inclusive definitely learned a lot during this crisis. Like I said, it's a very rare for this part of Mexico to get hit that hard by a hurricane. And so we should let them learn from that. We shouldn't judge them for that. And we should still participate and go to their facilities and just be happy because they do provide quite luxury and clean, safe venues. I have some clients that only want to stay at Hilton's. And so, but they're not all the same. Not all hotels are the same. So they're not always going to be up to your standards one from another. But look at the whole situation. And something I've really learned in my travels over the years is you have to look at the culture of the environment you're in. Because so often we take our culture from where we live and bring that there and expect it in return. And it's just not how it is. I remember in my early 20s, I went to Germany and I used to wait on people at a Hilton, by the way, that I worked at. I used to wait on Germans quite often, and they would get so mad at me when I bring the salad right away. And here I'm thinking I'm being efficient and fast, but they would get upset with me, and they'd be all, "Oh, no, no, no," and I'm like, "What?" I didn't get it. And then I go to Munich, Germany. I had a godfather who was living there at the time, he takes me out into the country where he lived, him and his wife, and we go to a restaurant. Many restaurants there are converted homes. So we go into this restaurant. It took 2.5 hours for my appetizer. I was starving. I was like, oh my gosh. And I asked him, I'm like, what is this? He goes, oh no, our dinners are 5 to 7 hours when we go out to eat. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, we're here to socialize and take our time. And the cooks, they make everything from scratch. I got to tell you, that garlic soup was the best soup I've ever had in my entire life. I'm not 100% sure it wasn't because I was absolutely starving. But 6 hours later, we did have our full meal. We did have dessert. We had several cocktails, a shot of Jaeger at the end because they use it as a digestive. And, my point is, you have to understand the culture and not bring your culture into it, because that's not really fair. Just as it's not fair to bring it into ours or yours where you're from. Learn the culture before you go there. Know what to expect. But it doesn't matter what culture it is. Nobody kicks somebody out and gives them an hour with no help. Okay? I'm sure we can all agree on that. All right. So don't forget to put in the comments about my sunglasses. Are they a stay or are they a nay? And they're really comfortable. I kind of like how they're kind of retro old surfer glasses from the 60s, the style. But otherwise, you guys have a great day. And if you guys want to book with me, Diane, DYAN at Shredder Girl Adventures. And sorry you didn't get the live interview with Homira, but our microphones didn't work. Oopsie. And I'm looking back here. I don't have the greatest lighting in this room, but oh well, Oh, there's my dog. Say hi. Say hi, Black Jackie. That's her personal couch. You guys have a great day. Shaka. So, Hamira, are you glad you've returned to this resort to give it a second chance?
Yes, it was a great opportunity to come back. I really enjoy it. So far, it's really nice. Food is great. People are very polite and nice and helpful. Room is good, and I really enjoying it so far.
Well, I'm so glad that you gave Hilton a second chance, because that was unprecedented times. From what I understand, the whole side of the mountain behind here landslided, took out all the water, all the electricity. I'm sure they were all at a loss at what to do. And hopefully they learned from it. And in the future, they will make sure they have a backup plan. And how can you just go wrong with this beautiful view? And we're here with Adventures of Baja Boy Toby. And thank you so much, Homira, for trusting me with all your travel needs. I really appreciate your business in that end and developing a friendship from that tragedy that happened the last time you were here.
I'm glad I met you, and so far really enjoying it. Everything, thank you. Everything you've done for me, it was awesome.
Thank you so much. All right, well, Shredder Girl Adventures and Adventures of Baja Boy Toby, signing out.